My name is John Palmesino, and with Anne-Sophie Rønskog, we have established Territorial Agency, which is based in London. And we are a part of a team that includes the photographer and filmmaker Armin Linke, based in Berlin, and the curator Anselm Franke and his teams. We have been developing over the last 2.5 years a project called the Anthropocene Observatory, which investigates the unfolding developments and consequences of a thesis that we as humans have impacted the Earth system so much that the Earth is now entering a new phase of its geological history. In the year 2000, in a meeting of the International Geosphere-Biosphere Program in Mexico, the Dutch chemist Paul Crutzen, who previously was awarded the Nobel Prize for his research on atmospheric chemistry, and he was also crucial in developing the entire world policies in stopping CFC gases. He discovered the depletion of the ozone layer. In this meeting of the IGBP in Mexico, he announced to his counterparts that he didn't accept their framework, their mental framework, that we were somehow in the Holocene, in this geological epoch characterized by the melting of the ice age, the waters eroding valleys. But we have now changed the Earth system so much that we have to consider a new geological epoch, the Anthropocene. And Paul Crutzen has been the patron of a large project developed in Berlin at the House of World Cultures. In this project, we, as a team, developed what we call the observatory, where we managed to collect information, data, and interviews and films and documentation and spatial analysis about this unfolding thesis that is now many things. It's a guideline for research in certain fields of science. It's an hypothesis that is being evaluated by the geological societies throughout the world. For instance, the International Stratigraphic Commission is evaluating carefully where to place the beginning of the Anthropocene and how to formalize it as in the timeline, or it is affecting the negotiations on climate change. It is now becoming the paradigm through which, for instance, the United Nations start thinking of the relationships between humans and the Earth system. The Earth system being that complex set of interactions between the atmosphere, the biosphere, the water of the oceans, the lands, and of course the human societies. And the exhibition that we are showing in Utrecht is been a co-production between HKW and BAC, which is the Basis for Aktuelle Kunst. This institution is now collaborating with Centraalmuseum in acquiring one part of this installation, is particularly the elements that are dealing with water management. Of course, large part of the Anthropocene thesis is that humans are now moving more things than rivers and oceans and erosions. You know, we are moving probably the amount of mass that is far wider than it has ever been moved before. And part of this has to do with how we are transforming the hydrological systems of the world, the deltas, the dams, and in collaboration with BAC, and we've managed to organize a series of fieldworks in the Netherlands and abroad, testing what this means. So we have been filming an institution that is placed in both in Utrecht and in Delft, called Deltares, which is the center for the most advanced knowledge on delta management. And it is the outcome of the junction of Rijkswaterstaat with many institutions from universities in the Netherlands. And we've been filming and interviewing their works in relation to water management. For instance, we've been talking to engineers and how they are thinking of development of management of water security in developing countries. We've been looking at how complex relationship between man and machines is changing once you introduce very complex digital modeling of water systems. And so what we are thinking is that this exhibition is just a basis for a discussion of this very important thesis of the Anthropocene. And it's not an exhibition that has a theme. The Anthropocene is not a theme for art. It's a platform out of which we can reorganize different agencies. And art, I think, can contribute to those discussions. And it's really crucial that we, with the support of Central Museum, managed to somehow bring this into a fixed value of the city, because this is really elements that on many levels were initiated in the Netherlands with an idea of traveling around the world and being able to meet other people, and even with the colonial consequences, of course, but also the obvious fact that the Netherlands are in a delta, and they are so affected by the transformations of the delta, land subsidence, increased water storms, and so on. And so this is, we hope, a good contribution to the collection from a contemporary point of view. So there's a thesis of the Anthropocene is that the 11,700 years of the Holocene, the deep history of settlements, of agriculture, of human settlements, is now coming to an end, and we are entering a new phase, what we call the dark abyss in front of us. We hope that this will be a contribution to consider the collection of the Central Museum from a different time perspective, and both contemporary and on a long term.